Hello Aries, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. If Aries is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And there is the Seven of Discs. You're in a very hard-working part of your life, you know. We've got the Star card too. We're going to lay out our Dove and Serpent spread and see if all of your hard work is going to pay off. It looks like it really is paying off. It looks like, you know, right now you're doing a lot of work. You may not really see the goal. You know what I mean? You need, I think, some reinforcement that you're doing the right kind of work and that it's leading somewhere. You know, the benefits aren't maybe immediately apparent to you. Let's do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're going to use the Smith-Waite Tarot for our mystery card. We're going to select one card here, and we'll set it aside. We'll put the frog on top. Alien is taking a rest over there. We're not going to look at that until the end. We're going to see how that might tie everything together and, you know, give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. So let's take a look around here. We've got major, 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 major. We've got some earth, some air, some water, a little bit more air. Okay, so we're lacking a little bit of fire, but you know what? We have this luster strength card right here, which is fire. This is some very, very strong fiery energy. So let's start with the Seven. All right, you're somebody who knows hard work. You know, you're not afraid of hard work. I think whatever you're working on right now, you're kind of you're maybe sticking with what you know. You know, you're doing the work, you're using the methods and the tactics and the strategy that you already know, like, is going to work, right? Even though we may not be seeing the benefits right now, you're sticking with the tried and true. You know, you're doing things by the book because that's how they usually work, and that's something that you can be confident that things are going to work out that way, right? But I think that there is, it's almost like you've hit a plateau or things are stagnating a little bit. You're still putting in all of the effort, but it's almost like the results are kind of dwindling, right? It's the law of diminishing returns. And I feel like what we need is a little bit of reinforcement. We need a little bit of innovation. We need some of that fiery creativity, but we don't have any, really. Once we get to the Path of the Serpent, we've got this Luster Strength card. So this is that fiery creativity that we need. Right now, we don't have that, but I do feel like there's some really good inspiration coming with all of this water and major arcana energy on the kind of middle path, the middle pillar here, the vertical axis of the path of the dove, okay? So it's almost like on the horizontal plane, we have kind of sticking to what has always worked in the past, you know, finding that we're not really seeing the benefits that we used to with the same type of work, the same methods and tactics. And that leads us to a little bit of confusion. We're starting to maybe doubt things. We're starting to question what we're doing, if we're doing things the right way. But then on the vertical axis, we have this wonderful Ace of Cups. We've got the star energy underneath. Here, we'll put that back on top. And we've got this Knight of Cups. So I feel like there's a lot of really good reinforcing, confirming energy that's coming into your life that is going to ignite this fire. And this fire is innovation and creativity, getting that kind of new great idea of how you can change up your approach, right? So what I'm feeling with the 7 here is a lot of work and those kind of the diminishing returns, right? We're not seeing the effects of what we're doing right now. And this could be at work. For some of you, it might be related to school or education. For some of you, it might be the projects that you're trying to get off the ground. Maybe you're in retirement. Maybe you're trying to use the same approach to things that you used to, and it's just not having the same effect, right? So this card's kind of saying, look, we're sticking with what we know because we're confident that it's going to work again, right? It's just, we don't want to change. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? But just because something isn't overtly broken doesn't mean it couldn't use a little bit of a tune-up, right? Maybe we can soup it up a little bit. Maybe we can find some way to bring some fresh ideas, to bring some fresh inspiration into the work that you're doing, right? And this inspiration is kind of the fuel behind this fire energy that we see on the path of the serpent, which is the new approach, which is the renewed passion for what you're doing and the creativity that comes along with that. But we need that inspiration first. So you have to open yourself up, I think, to this inspiration, to the idea that we need something new, something different, a fresh perspective, right? Try something we haven't tried before. Get out of the kind of rigid, structured, traditional approach that has always worked for us. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a reason why it's become tradition, right? There's a reason why it's become the standard, because it works. And that's what we see here with the Hierophant. This is yesterday, right? Yesterday, the Hierophant was the tradition, the standard, doing things by the book, following the instructions, right? You're trying to build something now, and you're finding that the instructions just aren't doing it. Maybe the plan, maybe the instructions, the standard just doesn't have the same feeling to it anymore. It's a lot of work and not a lot of results. So whatever you're working on, if it's a work project, if it's a business you're trying to start, if it's an organization that you're involved with, if it's some creative project, some artistic thing, if it's any kind of a new skill or a new talent that you're trying to refine and nurture, if it's a relationship, what has worked in the past may not always work in the future. Okay, and that's the lesson that the Hierophant sometimes has for us. The standard, the tradition is not always the best bet. It might be the safest. It might be like a very low risk investment. Well, we'll just do what's always worked before. Okay. But in this case, I feel like we need to take a little bit of a gamble. We need to do something a little bit more high risk. Try something new. Right? Look at things from a different angle. Open ourselves up to the inspiration. This is that starlight that will show you things in a different kind of light, right? Things look different under starlight than they do under artificial lights or under sunlight. So this is us being willing to look at things a different way, right? Being willing to maybe experiment, maybe try something new, right? Get away from the instruction manual a little bit and try something else, right? Try a different approach to this. Now, this inspiration is coming from this Ace of Cups, right? The Ace of Cups here is the love, the joy, the beauty, the connection that you have with this work that you do. On the horizontal plane, if we just look at these cards that are going across horizontally, it seems like it's just business. There's not a lot of feeling to it. It's just, a standard. We're working towards it, and it's leaving us a little bit confused at the end. There's not very much to it. But we add in this water energy. We add in this starlight. and this Knight of Cups. Now, this work that you're doing takes on a whole new dimension because it's something that is an expression of you. The Ace of Cups is saying that this is a creative project of some kind, even if it's a business, even if it's something that seems so mundane. It's a creative process, okay? We can put our creativity into everything that we do. This is your real love, your real connection with this work. If it didn't have heart, then we could say, well, yeah, look, it's not really working out, so let's just forget it. But this is what keeps you going. This is why you continue to think about this, worry about this, try to find a solution, right? And I say solution intentionally because of the water. If you didn't care about this, it wouldn't be an issue. You wouldn't be here right now. This wouldn't be your reading, okay? But the fact is you love this thing, this work, this skill, this relationship, this business, this industry, this project, whatever it is. I think it is a source of satisfaction and fulfillment for you. And so you're not going to give up on this. You're going to continue to try to unlock this thing. Because when this thing is really working, when you're really in that zone, you feel that water energy enormously. It fills you up. It is the source of happiness and pride and satisfaction and fulfillment. This is a major thing. This is something that I feel you have committed to, and you're not giving up on it, okay? And since that, I think, is a fact, you're not going to quit. We have to find a way to unlock the potential of this. So I think we need that fresh perspective. We need to remember, we need to look up and see this. Let me move the dove out of the way. We need to look up and see that Ace of Cups above us, right? That's what we're aspiring to. We're so focused on the work in front of us, what's going on out here, that we forget that it's coming from above, right? From a loftier place. It has a more divine energy to it, a more spiritual kind of purpose behind it. We have to reconnect with that Ace of Cups, right? That feeling within us, above us, all around us, that is what is giving birth to this kind of new, fresh perspective, right? This new approach, this innovation, this star energy. Now, underneath everything, here is, well, it could be some Cancer energy. It could be a water sign person. It could be a Cancer person. It's the Knight of Cups. I don't know if this is someone who used to be in your life and they have a very strong connection. Sorry, I'm losing my voice again. They have a very strong connection to this work. I don't know if this is a family member who's no longer with you, if this is a relationship that you're not really involved with anymore. I'm getting the feeling like this is something that you're doing in some small part, not completely, but in some way this is a tribute to someone or a remembrance of someone, or it's almost like it's being dedicated to someone. Does that make any sense? So I feel like this is someone that you cherish. It's very dear to you. And you're sort of doing this. I don't think it's officially, but this is something that in your heart, I think you're dedicating to someone. Okay. Now, we kind of talked about this, the Eight of Swords. It's in the future. This is tomorrow. If things keep going the way they are, then tomorrow and the next day, you're going to be more and more kind of just clueless, confused, disorganized. Things are not getting more clear, right? If we continue this path that we're on. If we skip over the star and we do Hierophant, 7 of discs, we get to the 8 of swords. We're tying ourselves in knots. We're thinking this thing in circles, and those circles are just winding us about with confusion, right? With these swords, with this kind of tangle of wires. So this is not the ideal. This is the potential outcome, right? The potential outcome. And we want to try to avoid this. The way to avoid this is before we even get to tomorrow, right now, today, activate this water energy, this star energy, and ask for guidance, ask for innovation, ask for a fresh perspective, a little bit of spiritual insight to see this work in a different way, right? To see perhaps that we've been, I don't know, maybe too concerned with the results that we're expecting, that we're not enjoying the work that we're involved with now. Maybe we're thinking too much of the future, you know? Maybe we're being too rigid with the standard, the plan, the blueprint, the instruction manual. We need to allow ourselves a little bit of freedom, because the more we stick with tradition, the more we feel like we're restricted in what we can do and how we can do this work, then we're just getting more and more close to the Eight of Swords here, right? This is us really being locked up not only in the confusion or the uncertainty or, you know, the tangle of trying to figure out why this isn't working the way it used to, but this is us feeling like our movements are being even more restricted because, well, if it's not working, maybe I didn't follow the instructions. Maybe I need to follow more closely to the letter the way it's supposed to be done, right? And that, I think, is a mistake. I think we need to be open. Instead of trying to be more restricted, we need to be more open, right? And if we do that, I think we'll get over to the path of the serpent quite nicely. And we begin with the lust or strength card. This is that renewed passion for what you're doing. This is you know, like you can't sleep at night because you're so excited to wake up and start doing this. You know, it's going to bed already dressed in your clothes with your boots on, ready to go. Okay, this is that kind of excitement. We need to control that a little bit because that kind of enthusiasm, that childlike passion, you know, could steer you the wrong way, you know. We need to get some rest at night. We need to be able to let things go and leave work at work and keep our personal life separate. And, you know, we need to be able to detach from all of this activity a little bit. But that's beside the point. The main point is that renewed enthusiasm. This is the creativity. This is you really getting a handle on this beast, right? Really kind of understanding it now and knowing how to control. It's like when you're riding a bike. We're starting to teach our daughter, she's 3. We're starting to teach her how to ride a tricycle, you know, eventually a bike, maybe next year. But it's almost like that. You know, it seems just so impossible at the beginning. But then once it clicks, once you figure it out, not in your mind, we're not trying to figure it out, you know, with mathematics and physics and all of this geometry and whatever, to figure out how to ride a bike, right? It's a feeling. You got to catch the spirit of it, right? And then once you do that, once it clicks, then it's good. There's no figuring out, right? It's a spiritual thing. It's a body thing. I think that moment when it finally clicks, how to ride a bike, that is, I think, that type of feeling is the perfect union of our body and the spirit, you know? It's that perfect moment where the two just kind of click together. And I feel that's kind of what's going on here. This is it finally clicks how you go about this. It's not something you have to figure out intellectually. You know, it's a feeling. And the feeling starts here on the central pillar of the path of the dove. And it culminates in this real mastery over it. You know, this is you. It clicks how to ride a bike. Now you're popping wheelies. You're jumping off curbs, right? Doing all sorts of things. That's about all I can do. And this is the creativity. You know, this is now experimenting with new things, trying different ideas, having just flashes of insight, new ideas. Maybe you got to put them down on paper. You have to write them down. They're coming so fast. Different things you can do, right? New ways to kind of liven things up, spice up the business a little bit, come up with some new product or a new way of organizing things, or to streamline the business, whatever it might be. If it's in a personal relationship, if it's some kind of a charity that you're involved with, there's that moment where it clicks. Okay. And what that does, I love this next card, the Five of Swords. Five of Swords might be my favorite card, I'll tell you. I know that's probably shocking to hear, but see, the Five of Swords, when I was dealing the cards, it came out upside down. Now, I don't read reversals, but see, the card is upside down, which this is now an upright pentagram. The crown, the spirit, is on top. So this is telling me, because usually the card's down like this, right? Spirit's at the bottom. Our spirit is being buried underneath all of the other elements. The weight of this situation is kind of crushing our spirit, right? But what this is telling me is that you're learning to let go of that pressure. You're learning to, well, maybe utilize all that pressure to create that kind of diamond, right? But really, I think it's turning around our thought process. Instead of us just kind of feeling weighed down and crushed, and this is the type of mental energy that's going to land us in an Eight of Swords. This is the pessimism. This is trying to figure it out and just thinking, I just don't get it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know why I'm failing. I don't know what the issue is. And all our subconscious hears is doing wrong, failure, issues, and those are the key words that are being reinforced, right? So what's changing in your environment, what's changing within you and in this situation is that Five of Pentacles this way is becoming the Five of Pentacles this way. We're changing the way we think, first of all. We're now focused on the positive aspects of this, why we're doing it. I love this. This has so much meaning for me. It's in maybe remembrance or dedication, maybe to this water sign person, perhaps. I'm open. I want to do new things. So we're changing our keywords because all the unconscious knows, all it hears are the keywords, right? It doesn't hear the modifiers or the positive, negative. It just hears the keywords. Love, innovation, remembrance, dedication, creativity. I can. I will, right? So this, I think this card's showing a reversal, even though I don't read reversals, but with this card, this seems like the only card that likes to kind of flip around on us, up and down. It seems like a reversal of how we're thinking about the situation, how we're experiencing it internally, with our internal dialogue. So we have to put spirit back on top. We have to do positive affirmations. And with the positive affirmations, we also need the positive visualizations. We can't go thinking positive thoughts while we're picturing failure, right? So we need to use this as the kind of positive visualizations and positive affirmations, being aware of our internal dialogue. Okay. Being aware of that. Now, that comes with its own stipulations because the very next card is the Prince of Swords. Air on air, double air. Double air. This could be an air sign person in your life. For some of you, I think this is someone in your life that is trying to tell you what to do, right? Positive or negative, right or wrong, they're trying to tell you how you should be doing it. Why it's not where it could represent me, or this reading. But this is someone who I think is telling you how you should be doing it. Maybe this is the person that's convincing you that there's a right way to do things, and you need to stick to the letter of the law. This is that person. For some of you, it's going to be a person like that in your life. For others, I think this is going to be a warning. I think generally it's kind of a stipulation on this 5, because we get with the positive affirmations, the positive visualizations, we have to be careful going down that rabbit hole because we could end up in the snare at the end anyway, right? Because those positive affirmations, our internal dialogue, could ensnare us. We could get tangled up in all of that. We don't want to forget that the positive affirmations, the internal dialogue, is just a means to an end. It's just a means of activating this water energy and getting to this lesser strength card so that we can continue with positive efforts, positive action, right? We don't want to get stuck in just the internal dialogue and the thinking, right? Because that was our problem before. We're overthinking it. We're getting lost in the thoughts. We're getting restricted by all of this thinking. So it's a tool to be used, but let's be careful with it, okay? And then what we see at the very end, this death card. This is lovely. This is really lovely. This is, in some ways, a letting go of this rigid letter of the law, right? Letting go of what we think we are supposed to do. Let go of what you think is the right way. And allow a new, unique way to grow within you. Your own way. Okay? Feels very Taoist to me now. So the death card, this isn't a negative card by any means. This is letting go of what does not work. Letting go of what we've been clinging to for whatever reason, maybe because of this air person or our history, our upbringing. We're clinging to this Hierophant. We're clinging to this idea that history or the past or the standard knows better, and who are we to deviate from this? This card is telling you to let go of that idea. That's part of the reversal of our thinking. Let go of this idea that there is a very strict, correct way of doing it, and you have to stick to that. And if that's not working, the problem is with you, not with the law. Okay. And if we can let go of this idea, then a new, unique perspective will grow within us. We will be able to transform ourselves now into someone who, you've stuck with the rules long enough. Now it's okay for you to go kind of outside the rules. Be innovative. You've learned the technique. Now you can innovate. Now you can improvise. Okay. But we have to go through this transformation. This is the card of rebirth and transformation. It's not the card of death. Death sounds so final. It's a letting go. It's a willingness to part with what doesn't work for us anymore so that we can make room for what does work, what will work. All right. Let's do the mystery card now. Thank you, Frog, for being the guardian of the mystery card. I'd like to see something of the earth energy come out. I'd like to see perhaps 6 of discs. I think a 9 or a 10 of discs would be nice as well. I think anything of the kind of earth energy would be very welcome. Well, it's the 2 of Wands. The 2 of Wands. So we have that fire energy. That was something that we were missing a little bit. We've got this luster strength, and this kind of takes care of the fire, But we might need a little spark. This might be the flint and the tinder that we need to get the fire going, And this, I think, has to be a conscious choice. You have to be able to see the kind of future that you want. You have to understand that the results, the future, it is yours. But now let's not think so much about the hypothetical future, the hypothetical results, and let's start doing the work. See, the figure on this card is looking at the globe, right? And the globe he's thinking, I want the world. I've got the world in my hands. But he's just looking at an image of it, at a symbol of it, thinking this is the world. Well, no, it's just a globe that he's holding, right? It's just a symbol of it. It's just the theoretical, this is the world in my hands. But then if he were to look up, right, and you can't really tell where he's looking, But if he would look up from the globe in his hands, he would see that the actual world is out here. So I think we have to stop not imagining, because it's part of the visualization, but don't be so concerned with the hypothetical or theoretical results. Let's start doing the work now to get out there into the world and get the results, Yes, we can change our thinking, we can use positive visualization, but don't fall into that trap. Remember, that can ensnare us in the Eight of Swords. We look too long at the globe in our hands and we may think that is the result. That is the world right there. Well, no, the world is out here and we've got to go out into it. We've got to go do this. Okay. So I think this is a really good confirmation. This is the conscious choice, the intention, the will, speak the words out in the open that you're going to do this and begin to open yourself up, as we've been talking about. I think this is going to really have great results for you. We're going to do an extended. If you would like to stick around, just click on the link that's up there. That'll give you access to every extended reading, not just for Aries, but for every sign. I want to thank you for taking this journey with me. Thank you for being the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot.